Okay, day 2 of reviewing how to solve inequalities. So this inequality, we've got x's on both sides. So you want to have your x on the left that way because you have to read it starting with x. So even though the 6 is larger than the 2x, we're going to subtract 6x on both sides. And since we're putting the x's on the left, then we can go ahead and get rid of the 10. So the opposite of a positive 10 is a negative 10. And again, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So 10 minus 10 goes away. 2 minus 6 is negative 4x. The greater than equal symbol comes down. And 6 minus 6x goes away, and 8 minus 10 is negative 2. Our next step, we are going to divide. So we're actually dividing by a negative 4. And so remember your rules from yesterday. If you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality. So instead of greater than or equal to, it is going to be less than equal to. And negative divided by negative is a positive. And 2/4 reduces to 1/2 because 2 comes out of both of them. So because it's equal, it is going to be a closed circle. And so remember, it auto-populates the number 1/2, and it is less than and equal to, so it's going to be shaded to the left. Number 2. Fractions. Here we can't get rid of any fractions as easily as we could have before. So 2 things you can do right here. 1, you have denominators of 4 and 5. So its common denominator would be 20. So one thing that you could do is multiply each term by 20. And I'll show you real quick. Otherwise, you just leave it. So the opposite of adding 3/5 is, opposite of subtracting 3/5 is adding 3/5. And so you add 3/5. And so you have 1/4 W equals, and if you have trouble with fractions, then you're going to use a calculator anyway. So we go to 18 plus, and go ahead and do alpha x because you don't want it to round. So alpha x, get your fraction, 3/5, press enter, and so we end up with 93/5. And then you have 2 choices here. You can just divide by 1/4. So I'm going to do divide by, and I have to use the alpha x because when you divide by a fraction, you flip it and multiply it. So notice our top number gets even larger. So, and it's not, obviously not divisible by 5 because it doesn't end in a 5 and a 0. And I did equals, and I should have done less than, lost my symbol. So if you multiply times 4, you would get the same thing.